conversation in store, but I want to start with an amendment that you introduced during a House Appropriations Committee meeting. You introduced what you called the Respect America's Constitution Amendment. To start off the conversation, talk to us about it.
Well, this was a really simple amendment, and I have my pocket constitution right here, Brittany. And in the Constitution, it's very clear Congress has the power of the purse. Article 1, Section 9, no money shall be drawn from the Treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law. It's as simple as that. So I offered what I thought was going to be a really straightforward amendment just to reaffirm that Congress, and only Congress, has the power to spend taxpayer dollars or to choose not to spend taxpayer dollars. And I was shocked, I was stunned when my Republican colleagues voted no on the amendment. I still honestly don't understand. What you have right now is a situation where the Trump administration, and specifically the Office of Management and Budget, or OMB, is calling the shots. And Congress, unfortunately, under this Republican majority, is not. I know that over the decades, Democrats and Republicans alike have wanted to support their presidents, their administrations, but I've talked to people who have been in the Congress for 30 years, for 40 years. They've never seen anything like this at all, where basically the Congress is flying blind. And as Chairman Tom Cole, who I have great admiration and respect for Chairman Cole, but as he said, they're making recommendations. Well, no, we're not. We're on the Appropriations Committee of the House of Representatives. And as I told my colleagues, I looked them in the face and I said, what are you afraid of? You were duly elected, each of you, by 750,000 Americans to serve as their representative, to be good stewards of their taxpayer dollars, to decide what programs would be authorized and how to appropriate the funds. And then it's up to the president to faithfully execute the laws, but not to figure out what the laws are. It's ultimately up to the Congress to do that. So we've not seen anything like this, Brittany. It is a wholesale abdication of the constitutional responsibility that has stood the test of time in this country for hundreds of years. I hope that this is a low point. I hope that Congress begins to get its relevance again. And this shouldn't have anything to do with your party preference. This is all about checks and balances and upholding the Constitution of the United States. And I'm still stunned that they voted against it.
And every one of your Republican colleagues on the House Appropriations Committee voted against it. And you raised the alarm bells over this. This is what you said. If we don't defend the power of the purse right now, right here, we may never get it back. Talk to us about that, because that sounds like, hey, if we don't make this action now, it's over. This is a really slippery slope.
Well, the appropriations process has been broken for quite some time. We go from, what's called a continuing resolution to, basically punt at current spending levels. We do that again and again and again. This is no way to fund the government of what is supposed to be the strongest democracy the world over, the strongest military the world over, and they know that. But what is happening is they have given up their power willingly, knowingly, to the Trump administration. And I get it. They support the Trump administration. I get it. But it's one thing to support your president and another to forget that you're a co-equal branch of government. We, as legislators, are Article 1, Brittany. The legislative branch is Article 1. On purpose, the founders made it Article 1. The executive branch is Article 2. And I just don't know how we got so sideways. My point to my colleagues was, if we don't take action to reaffirm that we are a co-equal branch of government, duly elected by the people, then we run the risk of falling so far down this slippery slope that we will not have the constitutional republic that we have enjoyed, that has made us the envy of the world for 250 years. I am deeply concerned. I worry our institution in the House is badly broken. And I pointed all around our committee room, because we have all the portraits of all of the past committee chairs. And I said, what would they say to you? These are Republicans, these are Democrats who have served as chairs of the House Appropriations Committee over all these decades, 250 years. What would they say to those in the room? I believe by and large they would say, affirm that you are a co-equal branch of government. For goodness sakes, the Congress of the United States, don't just give up your power.
One of your Republican colleagues explained why he was not supporting this amendment, Congressman John Carter, and I want to read part of what he said. He said this, quote, "This amendment is an attempt to tie the hands of President Trump and his administration's work to cut waste, fraud, and abuse." What do you make of that argument?
Well, it's not that we want to tie the hands of President Trump. The Constitution ties the hands of President Trump by design. There are checks and balances. We are co-equal branches of government. If they want to fund appropriations consistent with the president's directive or value, that is up to them as elected representatives, but they need to work with us. We have as a role and responsibility under the Constitution, the power of the purse, the power to appropriate funds. And it's not about tying hands. As members of Congress, we're not doing anything other than upholding our constitutional duty. This is about the oath of office that we all take. And look, I have great respect for Judge Carter. He's a decent and honorable public servant. On this, we just have a huge disagreement.
Congressman, my last point is something that struck me is the timing of this because you posted a video of yourself speaking to the Appropriations Committee, and the timestamp on that video was 12:24 a.m. And I'm a night owl myself. I like staying up at night. I find I get my best work done in the middle of the night. But I mean, for transparency's sake, what do you make of the timing? What do you make of working on what you're calling a really important amendment in the middle of the night?
Well, I am a morning person, Brittany, so I was
You're probably dying.
not so enthused about staying up. And look, we've had late night after late night after late night there in the Appropriations Committee, and I agree with you. I think these topics are far too important. And here's the thing, there will not be a floor vote because Mike Johnson would never allow a floor vote on something like this, on the power of the purse. This is the only time in this process through House Appropriations where the minority can offer amendments during a markup that need to be considered by the full committee. So this is the one shot that we're going to have this year in all likelihood to reaffirm that Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution still needs to be addressed, needs to be upheld. And it's stunning to me. We were there until all hours of the day and night. We took a little break for the congressional baseball game on Wednesday, which I participated in. We took a little break here and there, but by and large, it was a crazy week. And I think we're going to have a few more crazy weeks because there are 12 appropriations bills. And we got through the Military Construction Veterans Affairs bill, and we got through the defense bill and about half of the agriculture bill. And that's it. There's still, 10 and a half to go.
Well, I